Hey, and I get it since we have so many acquaintances and even past associates, friends in this, but how'd the whole the Legion deal kind of land with you in the baseball community?
I was like, what? Okay, first of all, I was like, what happened? Right? Like, let me,
Hey,
like,
if you want to explain it to our listeners, you can.
yeah. So what happened was Legion rules have the like you can't play in a showcase event or for another team or anyone else or anything else if you're playing
In season.
Legion baseball.
Yeah.
Like you can't go to a uh, prep baseball report or perfect game like can't be showcase deal where you're trying to get some exposure, right? You can't go to any exposure camp or anything like that. So Lincoln Southwest had a pitcher that did that, and I believe, if I believe this is correct, Papillion La Vista South, um, they kind of turned him in or turned them in um, for that violation of the rules. And then Papio South ended up not being able to play in the regionals because they parents probably already had family vacations lined up, I'm guessing, right? Like, because you plan that stuff in advance. And so that put Elkhorn North into the regionals, and they went 0-2, but like props to Elkhorn North for going there. So there's a little bit of diciness there, right? Like it's a little, yes, it's a rule, but like I wonder, it's probably a pretty loosely enforced rule, I would think, over the years.
Let me tell you what some of the byproduct of that is. So we had a 90-minute meeting with our, fall sports coaching staffs, and Kirkman was really animate. And I guarantee you, he's buddies with Jeff. This
Mm,
probably came down from NSAA.
yeah.
And this is for everybody. This is a PSA. Don't assume waivers are going to be signed because athletic directors have had it pumped into them. You better know where your kids are going in season because you will be forfeiting those games. So those volleyball showcases, um, uh, you just have to be really, really careful because before I think people would just sign waivers if it was even brought to their attention and you'd think you were good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do the tryout portion. You just can't compete.
Mm.
Right. Yeah.
And you so some of it has to be an educational thing
Mm-hmm.
because they will enforce those rules because now it's like when Burke had to forfeit those games at district, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
At Sharif's
Yeah.
senior, and then now everybody's just going to tell, right?
Right.
It gets personal. So I could see people watching real closely with when season starts and what team you're taking where and what you're participating in. Like it's going to be dicey for a little while for eligibility.
Well, it's like I heard a story the other day, like Columbus Lakeview had an all-state running back. This is a few years ago, and he was like at a county fair or something, and they had a punt, pass, and kick deal, and like there wasn't anyone in it. Like there was only a handful of people, and the kid was just there, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll give it a whirl." Like no big deal, right? And then they got turned in for it, and he had to miss like the last game of the season because he got turned in for just kind of being there, right? Like it's not like malicious, right?
What do you
So
think the spirit of the rule is
Yeah, like
versus
what's the goal there?
versus the intent?
yeah, I don't know because as someone that is for kids and wants them to have opportunities to play in college,
The summers are spent at events like this for you.
yeah, like so I do kind of have a little bit of an issue, but in season I get it. Like it's probably not
But
okay.
when would you have time? Like, would volleyball
Yeah,
go do a weekend showcase? I guess they could,
Like
right?
during the school year?
Yeah, I guess they could, right? You could
Yeah.
have a weekend softball.
yeah, but how do
Could do a
you?
weekend deal.
Yeah, softball plays every damn day for like 2 months. So
I'm just telling you how the schedule breaks down.
I know. I just look at like how could you do it, right? Like how could you hey I don't know why anyone would put one on in the middle of the season though. But there are okay. So
Okay.
in Nebraska's case, like softball is a fall sport,
Okay.
right? Soccer is the one like outlier. Soccer in Nebraska is a spring sport, and that is very rare for like across the country. It's normally a fall sport everywhere else. So like, maybe you get mixed up in the wrong, thinking the wrong thing or something like that. I could see, but hey, you know what? When it's high school sports season, maybe just stick with your team during
Yeah,
this.
you know where I could see it maybe being an issue is with golf.
Oh yeah. I guess the thing I'm having trouble with here, Mike, is like we're talking about out of regular high school competitive season with the baseball thing, right? So like, what's the spirit of that rule, or does it just apply unilaterally and they never made the exceptions? Because if I'm playing Legion ball and I'm trying to get recruited and I'm trying to get noticed, going to a perfect game event or a Preps baseball report event, like I feel like that could help me out. How is that an unfair competitive advantage for me or my team that I'm just trying to go do an extra showcase? It's not like, you know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
not during the high school season. It's an extra thing anyway. Technically these Legion teams are outside of, I know they're associated with high schools, but they're outside of the high school system anyway. Like what's the point of that? I don't really understand how that could benefit a player in terms of a single game in like a state tournament. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so Legion, the this is the crux of it. You know, um, Legion is trying to fight back against the travel ball.
Yeah,
Like
that's the
that.
whole.
That's what it is. They're
That's
trying to.
that's you just got to cut through the
So it's
chase.
a piss.
Yeah,
It just
It's
the
a
whole
territory.
prospecting, like it. I
yeah,
mean, this thing is about to come to a head.
It's
yeah.
They danced around it for the last 4 or 5 years,
because the
So,
marketing. That's all it is. Is that? Am I
and
understanding
and I
correctly?
think Legion has had a hard time garnering support with
I
with the
think so too.
at
From
the
on a national level, like there are states that just don't have Legion baseball anymore. Like just because travel ball is a thing is like taken over and all that, and Legion's kind of like they just slowly kind of withering away a little bit from a Legion baseball, and so they're just trying to protect their I don't know, brand is the word, but they're just trying to protect it. And I don't know if they can anymore because I think it's so far down the line. So that's why
it
that rule is in place because they don't want kids playing for travel ball clubs and Legion clubs, and they want them to make a decision.
wasn't even an option when we were playing. Like we won our Legion title a couple times, and it was like the best thing ever. And
Yeah.
we did a couple of fundraisers, and you could play. Right? I don't know what I would have done if Legion wasn't really an option. And I mean, somebody would have had to scholarship me if I wanted to play.
Right.
You know, showcase or
Yeah.
prospect. Like I don't know. I'd be SOL.
Yeah, and it's just a
But
like
I've seen it work too, right? Their social media game and getting guys' attention and recruited, like it's a machine now.
yeah, and that's the biggest piece of it, right? Like parents want their kids to have opportunities to play in college, and frankly, like college coaches aren't going to a Legion game because they
And
play.
recruiting high school baseball
Is
guys
different.
is
It's
different.
different. Like there
Mhm.
are opportunities to go play
It's
places,
different.
especially if you have a little bit of money and can pay part of your way.
Right. Yeah, because it's not full scholarship stuff.
Yeah, like there's a lot of opportunities in baseball that. So yeah, I honestly have a really hard I have a really hard time with this. I
Well, the context to the Lincoln Southwest thing is a little different because I mean he just pitched. You could make the case he shouldn't have pitched anyway for Southwest that day, right? Like you.
Mhm.
I mean, if you
sure
really want to poke holes, you can say, well, why was he pitching anyway? I
sure.
mean, just threw, and
Right.
I think they were up anyway, right?
Uh,
Weren't they winning?
I don't know that. Yeah.
I think
I think you're right. I think they were.
I think they were up. So I mean, there's lots of were they mad because it was unnecessary? I don't know, but and I'm not gonna pretend with what happens with parents, but it was avoidable. To answer what I think you're getting at is, I think it is I think the
It
going back and forth
seems
between the sport, it's personal.
it's personal and petty. is what it feels like.
Also, I'll say this about Papio South, like they're a
I'm
closed
very
district.
reluctant to use petty because I don't know enough.
Okay, fair.
The- Pa-
I,
Pa-
I just don't know enough.
Papio South is a closed school, right? Like they really hard. Like you got to basically move in there to transfer there. So they're trying to fight against that a
Well,
little
you know
bit.
what
So I think that's a school culture thing.
I don't know if this is true or not, but between Papio, we talked about the boundaries and the districting and all that. You know, I think they have to go 1-for-1 now. Students between the schools.
So for
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
well,
Papio,
Yes.
wow,
Yes.
that's
if someone wants to transfer into, either Papillion La Vista High Monarchs or Papio South Titans, there is a line. And if you live above, if your address is above, like I think it's Lincoln Road, is that in Papillion, the road?
Yep.
If you live north of that, then you have to go to Papio, like Monarchs.
Yeah, I just got it. They were up and didn't need to. This is a different story I'm reading. Yeah.
So like that, so that's like their district is just saying if you live above, that road, if your address is that, no matter what, like if you're, let's say, a kid from Omaha North and you want to transfer to Papio South, you have to physically move south of Lincoln Road, or you're going to go to Papio High.
I still think it just, at first blush, man, it just seems like they should do those redistricting lines.
Well, when the third Papillion school comes, that'll be interesting because there's going to be a third one. They already have the land and stuff, and that's going to be like south of 370, but way east, like 36, 42nd, something like.
so like borderline Bellevue almost.
Yeah. So like my cousin lived south of 370 off of 36th Street South, and he went to Papillion La Vista High because that was their district.
That's a long drive.
It's a really long drive.
Because Coach Huffman and Coach Pecorsky, they live
over there.
Yeah, they live in between 36 and 42nd, right off of 370.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I would have thought that was Bellevue because you're closer to Bellevue West at that point.
No, yeah.
No, the funny thing about that is Coach Pecorsky started at Papio. He has Papio roots, and so that I didn't know that was a Papio thing.
I didn't either. I didn't realize you were Papio over there. I assumed it was Bellevue. I assumed everything east of like 48th was Bellevue.
I think Quail Creek or Quail Hollow or something is the neighborhood. That's my cousin lived, like, my aunt and uncle live there still.
I will say,
like,
in the scenes, at least for some schools, doesn't appear to be everywhere, but like at least for us, they're exercising the one opt-in rule too, right? If you've already had one opt-in, you can pretty much forget about it.
See, and I guess there's an article that's going to come out soon from an outlet that talked to me for an hour about transfers and all this. And that's what I said, like, hey, how do you fix the thing was, how do you fix it or whatever was one of the questions. And I said, I don't know if you do. I also said, I think part of the conversation too was thinking that, all these coaches are recruiting people and da da da. I'm like, no, like that's not what's happening. But in that conversation, I did say, hey, they like go back to the old college rules and say you get one transfer, that's it. Like say like one time transfer rule, and boom. Like once you do that in high school, you're done. If not, and I've been this way forever. I'm a proponent of 180-day rule. But if you have a May 1st deadline, it doesn't matter.
My answer would be one freebie and then a 180-day sit rule. Because you said, well, why? Because I understand how education works with tax-based revenues. And so if I'm a mom or I'm a dad and I'm at school X, and I don't like the opportunities that are afforded my young person versus school blank. In public education, as long as it's like that, you cannot deny me the opportunity to go to that school. Now, you can tell me I can't participate in extracurriculars,
Mhm.
but you don't want that lawsuit.
Yeah, no. And it
You don't want that lawsuit. So as long as you can do it academically,
Mhm.
and what's the spirit of it, right? You can choose the wrong school once. Now, chances are, if you choose it twice, that's on you.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the you problem.
But
But give him a chance.
you you can pick the wrong school once,
Yeah.
and it could just not work. Sometimes you just need a scenery change.
And all the people that, to your point, Damon, all the people that are like, oh, just go back to neighborhood schools. Like it should
You
just
got
be
to stop
neighborhood.
talking to those people.
But no, listen to me. You can't. It's a state law.
They just don't. It's like
It's literally a state legislature law. And it's not the NSA.
I mean, unless you don't believe in DSEG.
Yeah, the NSAA doesn't have anything to do with that state law. Like
Unless you don't believe in DSEG, which
There might be
listen,
some of those out there too.
well, that might be why some schools aren't open.
but but that's those people that want to go back to
Unless you
just
afford to
go to
live-
the school. The people that say that all the time, and it's like that's not. It's not. The NSA can't do anything about it, and I can almost guarantee you that the Nebraska state legislature wants nothing to do with going down that road of changing that state law and saying no, you can't have open option enrollment. They don't want to mess with that. They don't care. Like, frankly, they don't care. And good luck trying to get that changed if you want to do it. It's just not going to happen. So
when was Brown versus the Board of Education? I was like 64.
yeah, like we're just not. We're not. That ship has sailed and will never come back. The like go to your neighborhood school thing. That's just not happening. It's just never going to happen, and it shouldn't, to be honest. So, like, I don't know. I'm a dad, and if
I rock with the one freebie and then 180.
yeah, that's what I think is the best solution. I just think that's a way to curb it. But you still have the May 1st transfer deadline. So it doesn't really matter because you're going to always have the May 1st transfer deadline as long as there's open enrollment is a state law. So maybe it'll curb a little bit of it, but you're still going to have the like May 1 deadline if you want to transfer your jersey.